everybody, welcome back to MCAETtv's Critic Corner. My name is Miranda, this is Cesar, and we just watched Alita Battle Angel.
You told me the story of the war, when the ground shook and the sky burned.
Honestly, I came into this movie wanting to hate it.
I actually was surprised by how much I liked it.
I didn't expect for myself to like it as much, especially in the first act. I felt like the first act was super slow, and I was like, I don't care about anybody that's on screen. Like, she looks really weird.
Yeah, so that's a really big thing that might drive a lot of people such as us away. In the trailer, it basically looks like it's just Rosa Salazar with like a Snapchat filter on or something like that, and I was like, come on, that looks so dumb. Like, this movie looks so freaking incredibly dumb.
Because they gave her like these really big anime eyes.
She's the only one, so it really sticks out. And I guess maybe it's, I kind of get it. She's like special. Alita was found in a scrapyard, and Dr. Ito goes and retrieves her body, fixes her up, and she wakes up with amnesia, not knowing anything. Like, she doesn't even remember how to walk. When she gets up initially out of bed, she like falls over.
Yeah, she doesn't remember like what food is or what it tastes like.
Doesn't remember like absolutely anything.
Complete blank slate, but she speaks English, so that's
cool.
I
was about to say.
Very helpful.
Yeah, it's very helpful that she speaks flawless English. She was saying like, oh, what's this? And it's like, it's an orange. Before that, she was saying like, oh man, I'm really hungry. It's like, wait, what? Why? Why are you hungry? It was like, oh, okay, that's good. Like, all this stuff is working. And then she cried a bit, and it was like, oh, look on the bright side, your tears are working or something like that. I was like, why are you making it so that she can cry? Like, why would he build those things in her? Why would he give her tear ducts? It's weird.
We're just nitpicking at this point.
I know, but it's like, these are just little things in the first like 10 to 20 minutes of the movie that it doesn't really matter, but it's interesting, like the things that they choose to build into the cyborgs in this world.
I guess it was like these little things that were kind of taking me out of the first act, like these
that's
like
what I'm
weird
saying.
Nitpicky things where I'm like, it's just making me think more about the logic of the movie rather than like what's happening in the movie.
I'd rather just get thrown into the world really, as opposed to just like, the only thing that was giving you is it's just giving you things to nitpick. That's all the first 10 minutes is. It's not really anything except for like establishing things.
So then she's getting shown around like this is what everything is, like getting exposition thrown at her basically. I think it's just like a classic fish out of water story in the first half. Maybe that's why I didn't like it so much.
I was thinking for the first like several minutes, like, oh, it's still really uncanny. I'm not getting used to that. And I didn't get used to it the entire time. I wasn't a fan of like the Snapchat filter eyes the whole time.
Yeah.
As it got along, it got a lot more interesting. The first several minutes, it was just like confirming my thoughts from the trailer. Because I judged it pretty harshly from the trailer.
Honestly,
and
me too.
It just looked like a super, super dumb movie. Like, oh great, it's another one of these. Like one of these things that nobody's gonna watch and it's just gonna flop super hard and we're never gonna hear about it again.
Go easy on me, guys.
Sure, kid. No worries.
So that was like the first like quarter of the first arc that kept me thinking that, but as it went along, it got a lot cooler. There was a bunch of interesting world building.
There was.
They just casually have like all these gadgets. Like one guy has like this taser thing. Like they have these weird looking phones, brain overtaking technology, a bunch of crazy things like that. Like this huge spike hammer, a bunch of stuff like that that they don't really go into a bunch. They don't make like a big point or anything about it. They just like have them because that's the world.
Yeah, like everybody's like part bionic. Like everybody has like a robot arm or robot legs.
It was interesting. I was like, damn, how many amputees are in this world?
It was so bizarre. And they never explained that either. They're just like, it just kind of, like everybody's just got a robot arm. Like that's just the world now.
Yeah. Like a guy casually came in there and I made a note as it was happening, like, man, I wish our healthcare was like this, where you could just go in there, severed arms and legs, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll fix you up.
Like it just needs like a Tylenol.
Yeah, it was just like a mild inconvenience to get like fully delimbed.
Alita, they will come for you.
I'll have to face them head on. I'm gonna need you to stand way back.
But yeah, they have this like gladiator sport in their world where it's a thing that's like cyberpunk roller derby mixed with battle bots.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you ever watched that show, but it's basically a thing where people like build these little robots to fight each other, and like whichever one destroys the other one wins. It's basically like that, cyberpunk roller derby mixed with battle bots. except like people actually die.
Like the part where she's like in the roller derby ring with like the other cyborgs, and they're like actually trying to kill her and stuff. And it's like everybody's just cool with like watching the like watching murder.
It's a really morally ambiguous movie.
Alita, run!
I did like the action scenes. I feel like the action scenes won me over.
Those are pretty great.
Like I was saying earlier, like the first act, I was like, I don't like this movie. Like, when's it over? Like, I was like dreading it almost. But then once the action really picked up and they got into like the sequences, and then like without spoiling it, the bar sequence like won me over. I was like, okay,
that was pretty cool.
This movie's really cool. Like I like this. The coordination.
It was like really well done, all the choreographing, I guess. But yeah, all the fight scenes were really good. They're really well done. It seems like it feels very much made for 3D kind of thing. Like it had a very made for 3D experience, and a lot of the fight scenes where like things are coming at you and it feels like you're supposed to be going like, whoa. But we just watched it regularly.
Another thing I was thinking about is like, who's the audience for this? Because I feel it is rated PG-13, and there is like a love story. So I do feel like it's supposed to kind of appeal more to like teenagers.
The love story aspect of it feels very juvenile.
Like puppy love.
I wasn't a fan of that. It felt really weird. It was really awkward the whole time, which like I guess I get it because it's supposed to be a couple of teenagers and like they're just fumbling their way through life, trying to figure out who they are. One of them literally because she doesn't remember anything, and the other one metaphorically because he wants to get to the Sky City and do all these great things.
So I do feel like that love story kind of appeals to like teenagers and stuff, but like there was so much gore.
Yeah, a guy gets cut in half.
It's like cyborg gore, so like the blood is blue and
like a human guy gets cut in half.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? Spoiler alert, a human gets cut in half in this movie,
you
but
don't
it's PG-13.
See his gore though.
No, you don't see his gore. No, my gore is going everywhere.
It doesn't count if you don't see the gore.
Yeah, I guess. Like, so he gets like sliced in half, but like nothing happens after that.
He just kind of falls down.
He's like there and he's like, oh no.
But there's like a puddle of blood, so you could kind of like infer what happened to him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's like the weird thing about the MPAA is that like as long as you don't show blood or it's nothing sexual, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it's super weird. It's very graphic at several points. There's like lots of stabbing, there's lots of slicing. A guy gets like the front quarter of his cyborg face chopped off. It's like, it's interesting how it dances around the PG-13 rating. If you're considering watching it with your children, maybe if they're sensitive to graphic violence, think about it a bit.
Like older? I feel like 13's really cutting it. Like maybe like high schoolers could watch this.
I think it's aimed for like high schoolers to young adults.
Yeah, watch the movie so it gets a sequel, guys.
Yeah, please.
We want to know what happens
next. I'm pretty interested. I would definitely say go watch it, especially if you're into sci-fi. It's super cool.
So how would you rate this movie if you could?
It's tricky because there's some things that I'm not too much a fan of, like the love interest thing, that was weird and handled awkwardly. Man, I don't know, like, because the dialogue was awkward, but I would say like a 7, maybe 7.5.
Yeah, like I feel like this movie did have a lot of like weird flaws, and like the first act was kind of hard to get through.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like a lot of it is made up by like how cool like the world is and like those cool action sequences. And
that's the main thing. I think the biggest selling part for this movie is the crazy, super intricate, like really well animated fight scenes. If nothing else, it did that exceptionally well. Definitely would recommend it, especially if you're into sci-fi or action movies, or if you like just want to watch it for the little Twilight bit. But yeah, what would you rate this movie?
I think I would rate it like a 7, just like a solid 7. Because it is a little bit better than average. Like, it did make me want to watch the next one, but it did have all those like weird flaws that I like really couldn't get past.
We never got used to the eyes. We never got used to Snapchat filter Rosa Salazar.
It would have been a lot better if it was like an anime, honestly.
Yeah, then it'd be like, oh, okay, it makes sense. Everyone's like this, or everything is animated. There's not just like Christoph Waltz going around like being a normal guy, but with a hammer. It really throws you off. You never get used to it. It's very detrimental to the scene that's supposed to be the most emotionally impactful That's where I like detract a solid chunk from it. Because of that choice. I didn't like that whatsoever. Overall though, very good movie, very well executed for the most part.
I'm with her.
So that'll be the end of our discussion for Alita Battle Angel. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to subscribe, like, and comment.
Tell us what you guys want to see next time.
Yeah, let us know what you thought about this movie as well. I'd like to hear your thoughts. That'll be all for today, so thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye, guys.